You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Friday the 17th of October 2025 and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And I've done all right today. I did a bit of work on chapter 15, not as much as I would have liked, but I have done some work on chapter 15 today. So today was a Milton Keynes writing group meeting, but the other thing I did, more importantly than that, this morning, I got up at like I got up at 7:30, and at 8 o'clock I went to the local swimming pool and spent 50 minutes doing lengths of the pool. Now, I haven't swum in absolutely ages, so I'm not going to lie, I didn't particularly enjoy it. I was very out of breath, but then that's the whole point, isn't it? I'm trying to do exercise that pushes me a little bit, and of course, because it's zero impact swimming, obviously, you're not, it's not like running where you're actually putting quite a lot of pressure onto your hips. This was like hip neutral. In fact, literally there was no impact at all, so that was good. I wasn't very impressed with the leisure centre. It's the first time I've used them, and basically, because I've joined as a member and paid for the year, all the classes that I go to, I have to book them, but they're free. It doesn't cost me anything unless I don't show up. And nobody explained to me how you effectively sign in. They had said you sign in for the gym up at the gym, so I assumed there was like a QR code or something you could scan at the pool as well to say you were there, but there wasn't one. And when I got to the turnstile to let me in, I tried scanning the QR code that was there and it didn't work. And I thought they've obviously got a system problem because they've left one of the gates open. They left the side gate open so people can just walk in. So I did that, and then I thought, and then I got to the pool and thought, there's no way there isn't a QR code here for me to scan. So I said to the guy, I wasn't able to scan in, it wouldn't work. And where's the QR code here to do it? And he goes, no, the one at the gate is the one you meant to scan. I said, well, I couldn't get it to work, and I assumed that was a problem. That was a general problem because the gate was open. And he was like, no, the gate was open because I haven't got any staff to man reception. I went, okay. And he goes, it's all right, I'll go and manually check you in. So, because otherwise I get charged £4 for booking a session and not using it, which I'm quite happy with because, you shouldn't be turning people away because somebody has booked something and then doesn't turn up. But anyway, I thought, I'll just go and check at reception that I'd been booked in for it, and I hadn't. And then the lad who said he'd do it came in and he goes, I don't know if I was able to do it. And like, I don't know if I was going to be able to do it or not. So it's like, well, and I didn't say this to him, but it was like, well, why didn't you say that at the time? And if there was a problem, you knew where I was in the pool. Why didn't you come back to me and say, sorry, I wasn't able to do that? You probably will get a £4 charge, but just contact us and we'll wipe it off. But he made no attempt to communicate with me at all. So that was my first experience of the staff at the leisure centre in Daventry. Woohoo, brilliant. Anyway, I did the swim. I did about 50 minutes. I'm sore now, but not where you'd expect. So you'd expect it to be arms and legs. That's probably coming tomorrow or the day after. But today it's my neck because I'm not very good at front crawl. I haven't done that kind of thing for ages. So I was either doing backstroke or doing like a doggy paddle type thing. Maybe not quite a doggy paddle, but with my head raised. And it's that motion or that having my head raised at that angle that's caused a bit of pain in my neck today. So tomorrow I think I'm just going to use the gym. I'm going to try and alternate it between gym and pool. So tomorrow morning I'm going to use the pool instead. But no, it was good. It's going to be a long journey to losing the weight, especially because can't be as active as I was. But hopefully today was the first step in it. As I say, then I got home, I read through chapter 15. It was all right. It needs reading through a couple of times. I didn't do it on a Twitch stream today because I wasn't really in the mood. And I'm not going to name any names because I haven't asked permission, but the person who regularly tunes into my Twitch stream, I've offered to read their book. And I read the first 3 chapters today, and I've got to say, It's really, so I'd already read the first chapter, so that wasn't new to me, but because he wanted a bit of feedback on that, and I said I'd happily read the whole thing. So chapter 1 introduces you to the characters, and then chapter 2 kind of introduces you to the world that the story is set within, and it's really well done. I feel like it's a real place. Hopefully it isn't a real place, otherwise I'm going to look stupid here, but I don't think it is. I'm sure it's fictional, but it feels like a real place, to the point where there was one moment where I think a school teacher's talking about a maritime disaster that happened, and it felt so real. I just assumed it was real and was Googling it, and no, that never happened. So I don't know. I think you occasionally listen to this, so I will give you more feedback than that if you are listening. But I'm really enjoying what I've read so far. As I say, it's compelling, and the world you built feels very, very real. And then this evening I went to a meeting of the Milton Keynes writing group. That was good. Oh, and the other thing I've done today is, because of course we're coming towards the end of the year, really quickly. So I've been thinking about next year's podcast. So, sorry, this is going to overrun slightly. So the photograph I got taken dressed in period costume at Beamish on Monday. There's a single that I got one of me and Tani, and one of just me. And the one of just me, I'm basically sitting on a chair. I've got a book in my hands and a pen, and I'm writing, and I'm wearing a bowler hat and period costume and stuff. And it's really good. So it's very likely that that's going to be the photograph used for the podcast logo for next year. And the other thing I did today was I've done about 3 different versions of possible theme tunes, because I like changing the music every year and creating a new season with a new theme tune. So next year is technically season 3, which is ridiculous. And I'd been humming and hawing. I'd tried 3 different bits of music that I'd composed, and I finally decided a few days ago, actually, no, it needs to be this piece of music, and I recorded it, I edited it together to create a version without lyrics. Well, actually, that's not entirely true, but you'll find that out later in the year. Sorry, next year. But yeah, I recorded it, and I'm really pleased with how it sounds. So yes, next year's logo and theme tune have been done. It's all ready to go. I've just got another 55 or whatever it is, 54 episodes of this season to do first. Anyway, sorry that slightly overran. I'll be back at the same time tomorrow, hopefully having made major inroads into signing off chapter 15. Anyway, take care. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.